Balake. Where is Balake at?
My name's Blake.
Do you want to go to war, Balake? I'm for real. Aaron.
Aaron is back, everyone. Back for a late night edition. A little bit more SPTV, where every day's a great day not to be in a cult. And every day is one step closer to the total demise of Scientology. Guys, we are talking today about the civil RICO lawsuit against David Miscavige, Danny Masterson, the Church of Scientology International, Religious Technology Center, and there might be one CSI Art, and Celebrity Center International. There's just a relatively small update in the lawsuit. But it also occurred to me that for many people who watch my channel, it might be news that there is a civil RICO lawsuit against Scientology. And that's because this is actually an amendment to the lawsuit that was filed several years ago that I've done many videos about, but I'm not sure I did a video about the civil RICO complaints being added to the lawsuit. This is the lawsuit being brought by multiple of Danny Masterson's victims, plus some additional individuals, like Jane Doe 3's spouse is part of the lawsuit, because this lawsuit isn't specifically about Danny Masterson's vicious crimes against women. This lawsuit is about the harassment, stalking, fair game, and intimidation that the victims and their family members were subjected to by Scientology and their agents since coming forward publicly. And I get the dates on this mixed up. I think I'm going to try to not quote dates because I get the years all mixed up. There's so many lawsuits, so many different victims, and also different attorneys representing different victims that sometimes I get the dates mixed up. So, but here's the thing: this civil lawsuit was put on hold, on a stay, while the Danny Masterson criminal trial was going on. Once Danny was convicted and sentenced, then all the proceedings for the civil trial were moving forward, and the plaintiffs, as a group, requested leave to file a second amended complaint to add additional plaintiffs to the lawsuit and to add additional charges. Now, they requested leave to file it. Then Scientology filed an opposition to the request. Then the plaintiffs filed a reply to the opposition, and that reply is the breaking news. Now, the substance of the reply, not particularly interesting. It basically means their argument is wrong and we're right. But there's some things that were filed along with this that I wanted to share with you, because for you law nerds, I think you're going to find this interesting and or entertaining. I know I do, and I don't know much about the law. And then I wanted to take this as an opportunity to show you the sections of the second amended complaint where these civil RICO accusations, I'm calling them, are inserted. I want you to see the language being used, because this is now what David Miscavige and Scientology have to contend with. This is now what they're going to be battling. It's not just harassment, intimidation, stalking, fair game. They actually have a civil RICO lawsuit on their hands. So let me show you. Let me see. This is, I guess this is the one that I'm saying. Like, this is the actual filing that's sort of the new news, but we're not going to go through the substance of it because, like I said, the substance of this is, most everything they said in their reply is wrong and we're right. And that just isn't kind of interesting enough to read through. This is the plaintiff's reply in support of the plaintiff's motion for leave to file the Second Amendment complaint. Now, I just have to show you the declaration that was included in this filing by attorneys for plaintiffs Chrissy Carnell Bixler and Cedric Bixler Zavala, and Marie Reales and Jane Doe 2. This to me is hilarious. This is an email chain between one of the plaintiff's attorneys and RTC's and David Miscavige's attorneys. And because it's an email chain, it starts at the bottom. So we're going to go all the way to the bottom and we're going to work our way back up. This is one of the funniest things I have seen. Bill Foreman is David Miscavige's attorney. Now, he might be RTC's attorney, but I'm going to use them interchangeably because David Miscavige is RTC, no matter what Scientology, how they want to pretend otherwise. Okay, so this is a proposal that David Miscavige's attorneys are sending to the plaintiff's attorneys. All right, I just want to show you, make sure I don't have going from Bill Foreman to and all these lawyers. I mean, they're just lawyer email addresses, so that's fine. Counsel, in light of the motion for leave to file a second amended complaint, we propose the following in order to streamline matters before the court. The pending anti-SLAPP motions be withdrawn without prejudice to raising in a later anti-SLAPP the grounds asserted in the pending motions. Sorry, guys, I just realized I forgot to add a little bit of color. So the first amended complaint was already submitted. Scientology filed a bunch of anti-SLAPP arguments against the complaints that were in the first complaint. All of that is still pending. Then the plaintiffs request leave to file a second amended complaint. And the defendants are basically like, whoa. We haven't finished ironing out the anti-SLAPP stuff for the first complaint. And then the plaintiffs basically said, no. We're not changing any of the complaints that we filed in the first place. We're adding new plaintiffs and we're adding totally new complaints. We can handle the first anti-SLAPP stuff as its own thing. We can handle a whole second wave of anti-SLAPP stuff as its other thing. There's no conflict here. And that's the conversation that's happening here. Okay, so Scientology attorneys say, the pending anti-SLAPP motions be withdrawn without prejudice to raising in a later anti-SLAPP the grounds asserted in the pending motions. 2, the motion for leave stays on calendar and proceeds as noticed. 3, if the motion for leave is granted, defendants may file new anti-SLAPPs asserting any arguments from the current anti-SLAPPs, as well as arguments directed at new allegations. If the motion for leave is denied, the anti-SLAPPs previously filed would be refiled for hearing. 4, the parties enter into a stipulated order as to the preceding, none of which is effective unless signed by the court. We think this plan avoids confusion by having the anti-SLAPPs heard while a motion for leave to amend is pending. Let us know if you are amenable. Now, I have to say, as a layman, that sounds exceedingly logical. And unless I'm greatly misunderstanding something, you guys know I don't know much. I was raised in a cult. It seems like the attorney's response was pretty much, that sounds good to us. We just have a few requests here. So you guys help me understand what I'm missing here, okay? William, I hope you and yours had a wonderful holiday season. All right, we'll skip that. We're generally amenable to your proposal with the following amendments. We agree to request that the court move the hearing on the motion to amend to the date currently set aside for the anti-SLAPP motions, as that hearing date will now be available. Sounds good. We agree to maintain the stay on discovery, at least until the motion to amend is adjudicated. Sounds good to me. We get the stipulation on file Monday morning. We've prepared a draft stipulation, which is attached. Sounds good to me. Please let us know your position and have a good weekend, everybody. Didn't it sound like they were basically agreeing on everything? I cannot tell what it is about that response that Bill Foreman would not have been happy with, but I need you guys to help me understand this, because check out this response, you guys. This is hilarious. Okay. It says, I just talked to Bill. Bob Mangles, by the way, Robert Mangles is one of David Miscavige's other attorneys. So you got Robert Mangles, you got Bill Foreman. They're both representing David Miscavige and RTC. I use them interchangeably. Okay. So Robert Mangles, I just talked to Bill and I agree, good sir. Okay. And then clearly Robert Mangles is like, uh-oh. And he goes, please disregard my last email. And then Robert Mangles gets a little nervous a few hours later. I want to be clear that we are not agreeing to your proposal. And the other attorney is like, what part of the proposal is agreed to and what is not agreed to? See, here's where I need you guys to help me. It sounded like both sides were saying the same thing. And now they're like, we agree. We do not agree. We do not agree to your proposal. All right. Help me understand, guys. What the hell did I miss? Okay. As I mentioned, my email was sent in error and there is no agreement to any part of your proposal. Okay. And then the attorneys, the plaintiff's attorneys respond again. This was precipitated by a proposal from the defendants. So we would appreciate understanding if that proposal is withdrawn, or if not, what you object to in this stipulation and why. He just says, "We do not accept your counter proposal, good sir. Our proposal still stands. Let us know if you accept that proposal. Thanks." I know I'm being repetitive right now, guys, but I could not tell what the difference was between the first proposal and the counter proposal. They seem to be saying the exact same thing to me. Please let me know in the live chat and in the comments what in the heck I'm missing. Or, is the special sauce in the stipulation that we didn't read? I don't know, you guys. Okay. So, and I will publish all these things. I'll post links to these documents in the description once this video is done, so you guys can see the whole thing for yourself. Okay. So the plaintiff's attorneys come back once again. Counsel, please send us a draft stipulation with your proposal so we can review it. Please also advise, 1, if you would agree to a briefing schedule on the motion for leave that gives us some additional time for our reply, and 2, your position on discovery once you withdraw your anti-slaps, given the pendency of the motion for leave. It still sounds to me like the plaintiff's attorneys are basically saying, hey, you guys, the Scientology's attorneys, you're in the driver's seat. We were fine on what you said you wanted to do. What's the problem here? Okay. And then Bill Foreman comes back again. I sent my proposal yesterday morning in my email. You've not said yet whether you accept that. The timing of your reply brief on the motion for leave to amend is a different issue. If you need an extra week or 2 for a reply, you can move the date back on the hearing, but we would keep our same opposition date for the hearing as noticed now. If the anti-slaps are withdrawn, then there is no discovery stay. All right, well, that is the end of that exhibit. I don't know what to say about that. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Maybe you can shine some light on, help me understand what the hell was going on in that email chain there. I mean, that email chain was noteworthy enough that the plaintiff's attorneys filed it as an exhibit to the reply, to the opposition, to the request for leave to file a Second Amendment complaint. Guys, the fact that this gets all so complicated is why I have not been doing so many updates on the civil lawsuits, because in order to do the video justice, I feel like I need to know where I'm at in the whole process and the procedure, and it gets very confusing. And if I get too confused, I just won't do the video. But once I saw this stuff, I was like, this is funny enough that we got to do something about it. And like I said, this video is really just an excuse for me to go back and show you guys the filing from December 27th that added the civil RICO complaints to the lawsuit, or requested to add. And I just really want to share those with you because they really tickle me. Okay, the first thing we are going to do here is go to page 16, number 58. I'm going to share. Is this it here? Is this it here? I think this is it here. All right. So this is going to be relatively brief. Page 16, number 58. Okay. So check this out. And, for anyone who's not totally familiar with this, RICO stands for, I've got web pages open in front of me here, Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. And the RICO Act is a United States federal law that provides for extended criminal penalties and a civil cause of action for acts performed as part of an ongoing criminal organization. And that's why it's so noteworthy that complaints are being added to this lawsuit treating Scientology as a criminal organization. The definition of racketeering is dishonest and fraudulent business dealings. Okay, so here's some of the language. Scientology's criminal enterprises, criminal conduct. Corporate defendants and defendant David Miscavige and their agents routinely use false pretenses to convince foreign workers to travel to the United States and cause those workers to file fraudulent visa applications in violation of 18 United States Code sections 1341, 1343, and 1351. Once the foreign workers arrive in the U.S., corporate defendants and David Miscavige and their agents take their passports, visas, and other travel and identifying documents and force them to labor for Scientology's benefit, often against their will, in violation of state laws against kidnapping and extortion. Corporate defendants and defendant David Miscavige and their agents isolate the children of certain members from their parents and force these children to engage in unpaid labor, often against their will, in violation of state laws against kidnapping and extortion. Corporate defendants and defendant David Miscavige and their agents routinely engage in identity theft, access device fraud, and credit card application fraud by using Scientologists' personal identifying information without their knowledge in fraudulent credit card applications and causing Scientologists to engage in knowing access device and credit card application fraud in violation of the applicable United States codes. Thereafter, using the proceeds derived from such identity theft and fraud, corporate defendants and David Miscavige engage in financial transactions designed and intended to conceal the source of those proceeds and to promote further identity theft, fraud, and other criminal activities in violation of applicable United States codes. As further detailed below, in an effort to conceal the above criminal behavior, defendants and their agents routinely engage in harassment and intimidation campaigns targeting victims, witnesses, and governmental authorities. That is some strong words right there. Okay, we are going to jump forward to page 75, number 457. Scrolling. And we are there. 457. Okay, check out some more language here. Defendants and their agents have conducted and participated in the affairs of the enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity within the meaning of 18 United States Code 1961-1 and 1961-5, which includes multiple instances of engaging in extortionate threats, extortion, identity theft, obstruction of justice, tampering with and retaliating against a witness, victim or informant, arson, access device fraud, mail fraud, wire fraud, and the laundering of monetary instruments and engaging in transactions with the proceeds of specified unlawful activity. Ouch. Okay, let's jump to 463. I noted specifically. Defendants' scheme and above described racketeering activities amounted to a common course of conduct intended to cause plaintiffs and others to hide and conceal the enterprise's crimes, including defendant Danny Masterson's abuse. Each such racketeering activity was related, had similar purposes, involved the same or similar participants and methods of commission, and had similar results affecting similar victims, including plaintiffs. Defendants' conduct is part of their ongoing business and constitutes a continuing threat to plaintiffs' property. The pattern of racketeering activity alleged herein and the enterprise are separate and distinct from each other. Defendants engaged in the pattern of racketeering activity alleged herein for the purpose of conducting the affairs of the enterprise. Each member of the enterprise has a systemic linkage to each other participant through corporate ties, employment, and other contractual relationships and agency relationships, and function as a continuing unit for the purpose of furthering the scheme and common purpose of the enterprise. This does go on and on. I mean, the language, there's many, I punched in the word racketeering and said, just show me every place in this filing here where racketeering appears. And I didn't want to read it all, but I wanted to give you the flavor of what is now. This is where this lawsuit currently stands. The effort to add additional plaintiffs, add additional complaints, add many different civil RICO charges to the lawsuit. And this is what Scientology is currently fighting. And that's why this particular suit, it's not stalled. It's just in a period of making very slow progress because of all the filings that are going back and forth because of what's happening. And that is the update. That's it, guys. That is it. Welcome to a few new members. I see. Prevents cults practice. Okay, there you go. Victoria Barragan, welcome. Jem's Journey, welcome. Lil Alligator. Hi, Aaron. I made a silly fan art of you as Mr. Clean and sent it to your email a few days ago. I would love for you to see it. Okay. I don't remember seeing that, but I'll look for it. If it has Mr. Clean in it, I'll search for Mr. Clean. I'll search for the word Mr. Clean. Passenger Shaming says, Rico, not so suave. I love it. Okay. Ken's channel. Good to see you, Ken. Breakdown from your non-lawyer friend, Ken. Lawyer 1, we have a ball and it's blue. Lawyer 2, I agree. Lawyer 2, oh wait, it's not blue. Lawyer 2, I mean it. No ball and not blue. Lawyer 3, it's your ball. Is there a ball? And if so, is it blue or not? I love it. All right, guys, that is the update on this lawsuit. Hopefully, as more updates come in these lawsuits, I'll do my best to make sure I really understand where everything's at in the procedures so that I don't just totally skip them. Because honestly, I really do like doing the videos of the lawsuit updates. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me this evening. Thank you, as always, to everyone who watches until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not,